For those who haven't been here before, the MSF is funded by our members for our members. I'm here because you and your teams allow me to be here and fund all this. So it's a thank you from that. We are an open forum, created 27 years ago now, to improve safety at all levels in the maritime offshore energy sector. Everything from CTVs all the way up to FPSOs. An inclusive gathering for marine professionals, seafarers and stakeholders in the offshore energy industry. It's where we could come together, we leave the commercial stuff at the door and we speak about safety. How do we improve the lives and the safety of everybody working in that sphere? Leading the team, we have our management team, our leadership team. We transit on the management team left to right. So from the steering group, we have members who step up. Just now we have Patrick Follen and Tom Griffiths. Tom can't be with us today. He is a serving master on board the vessel. He is on board the ship at the moment. He is at the coalface when it really matters. The co-chairs, myself and Jenny, and then we have the two directors. At the end of your tenure, you kind of move to the right as we go on. And we're supported by our secretariat. Steve Ferguson and Neil Carr as our secretaries, and John Marshall as the treasurer. John also spends a lot of time pulling together our safety stats on an annual basis to those companies who present them. We'll come to that in a second, but that's a really important document which is issued every year, whereby we can benchmark year on year where we are with our things. This is supported by our membership, our funding member companies. We see to the left there, 61% are support organisation, 14% are energy companies, and 25% are vessel owners. That's you guys in the room, effectively. You're funding all of this today, and I say thank you for that. From there, people step up to the steering group, which keeps the management team right in what we're doing. Again, a very similar mix. The steering group meets on a regular basis to ensure the forum moves on, to ensure we're capturing the right things. If your organisation supports the steering group, again, thank you, we can't do it without you. And we see there we've got a nice spread of the members there, trying to ensure it's not biased one way or another. It's one thing we really have to work hard to do, is to ensure that we have a balance within that steering group, so not one particular type of voice, whether it's a charterer, whether it's a quayside company, or maybe it's a vessel operator, has too much of a say, and we always have a balanced view on what's going on. Ewan asked me to give an update on GOMO. The MSF supports GOMO in many ways. Not only do the Secretariat also support GOMO as their Secretariat, but the update, there's been a lot of work going on with GOMO recently. The International Ship Owners Association joined the GOMO steering group as the 10th industry body, giving it a wider support. Really good thing. GOMO, for those who don't know, is basically the Bible for offshore marine operations. It's how do we do it safely. It's the basics, the nuts and bolts of most people's offshore operations here in the North Sea and globally as well. Latest revisions, Chapter 1 has been updated and Appendix 1B to reflect ISOA. Chapter 5, importantly, key changes listed in the revision log. This is in terms of certification, training and competency. One thing, I think John maybe touched on it today in his speech, he was touched on that. Appendix 10F, backloading of wet bulk cargoes. Exposure limits to H2S and align with the UK HSC and EH40. That's been a lot of work to get that one done. Ewan has been championing that for about 2 years now, 2.5, maybe more. And then some on that in terms of slops and how we manage our slops in line with the OSV code as well. It's been a really difficult journey, and hats off to Ewan for getting that amendments made. Ongoing work, Chapter 9, I think Chapter 9 work group met on Tuesday. In there. Was it Tuesday? Yesterday. which is all about logistics and cargo handling revision. It's just to bring that up to date. It's part of the planned programme of revisions of GOMO, and work groups to be arranged for scheduled revisions of 3, 4, 6, and 12 and 13. So if you hear somebody in the steering group or the MSF reaching out for support, this is your opportunity to speak and to ensure that GOMO is right sized and balanced for everybody's operation. We're going digital. This is a QR code. I know you know what it is, but if it works, this will take you to all of the annual safety statistics since we've started doing it. It's quite an important QR code because what it does, it allows you to have a look back at all the safety stats MSF have generated since we started generating them. I found this in the report and I put it in. This year's report, which is just undergoing QA/QC at the moment. It's really quite interesting. Give you time if anybody wants to take a wee snap of that. What the safety statistics do is to the organisations which do submit, it provides them with a means to benchmark against other peers. At the end of it, everybody gets their report, but they also get where they are in the report in comparison to other operators. It's quite interesting. And they come out with various statistics. This one I feel is really quite important for 2025. Senior leader visits to the vessels. What we're seeing is an uptrend in those. See 2025 there, we've gone up. That's really important because what we see with senior leaders visiting vessels is we see an improvement in safety. We see more near misses being reported. We see the culture on board the vessels improving. They see visibility from their leadership right down to the cook on board the vessel. He's not the most, he's the second most important person on the ship. But, you know, we see the hierarchy on board, they see visible leadership. And on the back of that, we see improvements in safety. Great. That's a good sign. I went through the report over the weekend, sad as I am. But the hypo root causes, these are the three which stick out the most when we see the colour charts. We have to think about the colours in the future to make sure they're a bit more clear from one another. But we see organisation, inadequate, inappropriate procedures, lack of planning, procedures not followed. These are the three highest sectors we are seeing incidents being reported in. Something in my day-to-day role I take very seriously is, are the procedures right and are they being followed? If they're not being followed, why have they not been followed? You have to go right back to the start and say, are the procedures right in the first place? And we go back to basically ISO can-do check. You know, we write the procedures, we want people to follow them, but are they the right ones in the first place? Historic safety alerts. 2025 we had 17. I look back 13 years and we had 50. I know it's a different market out there. I know it's a slightly different demographic now. Consolidation, less vessels, less operators. Less. However, we've gone from 50 to 17. Up from 2024, which is a good thing. But to date, year to date, I think we're on number 6. Yep, we're on number 6 so far this year. I was in a vessel operator's office 2-3 weeks ago, chatting with them. And they presented me and the team which came along with what they've been doing in terms of safety. They had issued approximately 8 safety flashes to their fleet this year. Not one of those safety flashes made it to the MSF. I have to ask why. Why is that happening? Is it because they've been stopped? Or did they not think it was valuable for the industry? Any lesson that they're sending to a ship should also, in my book, be a lesson for all of us. The only way we're going to learn is by sharing information out the way. What's happening on one ship could easily happen on another ship. Could happen on a quayside operator. Could happen on a tank inspection. If we're sending safety alerts out, in my opinion, as MSF, we should be sharing that externally as well, if we can. And that's on all of you in here. Why are we not sharing these other alerts? The ones that have come through are great. And the team does, and there's a team within the steering group that reviews these on a regular basis when they come in to ensure that they are non-biased. They do not call out any single operator or contractor, and ensure that we are sharing the lesson. Not always the cause, but the lesson to be learned from it, which is the important piece. Why should one company try to advantage themselves in safety above another and not share it? 17 last year, we've had 6. I know, with that just one organisation, if they're doing that, how many other organisations are doing that out there at the moment? Why is 17 or 6 to year date, not 17 to year to date? We know things are happening out there. We know near misses are being reported. We want to share. We want to learn. And it's about keeping the guys and girls like Tom, who's at the coalface right now, giving him the opportunity to be safe. Safety alert categories. We do a bit of work in the background. When the safety alerts come in, we categorise them. We have 2 categories for it. We have a main and a secondary category. It's quite an interesting discussion between the peers which review it onto which category they fall into, but generally we come to a consensus. We don't always agree, but that's fine, we're human. We don't need to always agree. But to date, we've seen 91 in lifting and deck cargo, 96 in control of work, and 64 in work equipment. They're the ones that stand out the most. But in 2025, access and egress, access to the vessels. Behaviours. Are poor behaviours now starting to come in? I don't know. We have seen it. I have seen it. Access and egress to ships has maybe not always been as good as it could have been. Providing that duty of a safe access to a vessel, access on board the vessel itself, incidents occurring because of that. That stands out. Slip, trips and falls, again, 18, year 2 last year. Dropped objects is always a big one. Dropped object reports, we'd like to hear them. And our peer at the Drops Forum, they are mainly looking at drilling rigs and offshore locations and installations in the drop, but they have some great stuff out there. Dropped objects, we think about the supply boats that are working there. There's a crane lifting stuff 60 metres above your head, down onto the vessel. Things getting caught in pockets. Not being searched properly before it gets lowered. Things being missed in the gantry on the quayside coming onto the vessel. One thing we have seen, and I have seen, is conditions of equipment coming back. We've seen scale falling off containers recently. That's a dropped object. I could ramble on for another half hour on that, but I'm not going to. Feedback. We firstly solicit your feedback. The only way we can improve is by you. This is your opportunity to tell the steering group and the leadership team what you would like to hear at the all-members meetings. We're here for you, but unless you tell us what you want, we can't do anything. We will continue where we're going at the moment. Another QR code. QR code-tastic today. If you could take a moment to do that. It also should be on the pages on the in the top corner I hope it works. Look at Nicholas. Nicholas, does it work? Right, there he goes. Yeah, good. This is it'll take you, I think it's 10 questions. What would you like to see? What can we do better? What do you think about the beach ballroom? We've kind of made this place our home. We're hoping that the refurbishment of here is pushed out, but we're still waiting to find out what happens there. And then, yeah, but without this, we can't do it. And without further ado, given we're compressed for time, we're going to go a bit earlier, and we're going to welcome our invited presenters. There will be lunch and networking opportunity after we finish today. And I'm going to hand over to Andrew Cox, who's going to give us an overview of something which is really important, is how do we rescue guys off ships? Winchman's view on safety. Thank you, Andrew. Right, come to stage.